Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. This will be the second video under my rebrand slash revival, whatever you want to call it. But I'm now back on YouTube as the Southwest Ohio Jet Spotter. Also find me on Instagram under the same tag. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started right off. Today I do have a model aircraft review for you. A 1 to 500 scale release from Herpa. This is, of course, the U.S. Air Force Lockheed C-130H Hercules. Now, I do not recall which year this release came out. However, I do know it is an older release now. And yeah, without going into a whole lot of rambling, let's dive right into the C-130 Hercules. We're going to go ahead and get the more boring side of the review out of the way, in my opinion. Maybe you guys find it interesting. That being the box. This is the standard old Herpa wings release, like a normal standard release box, and I do believe the year might be down there somewhere. It is not. Well, there you have it. There's the back of the box with some aircraft information, as well as some other various information, both in English and in German, Herpa being a German-based company. And there's the side of the box. The other side is exactly the same, top and bottom. And this box is damaged. I will note that I did purchase this aircraft model secondhand off the wonderful and wild website of eBay. And I do believe I got it for the sticker price on the box there being $20. Now, if you're looking for this model yourself, I can pretty positively say you're going to be paying more than $20. I do believe this was either a sample release or a Herpa club release, something along those lines. So with that being said, this is a rarer model. If you're trying to find it today, I think the most recent sold I found on eBay went upwards of 80 or 90 US dollars. And for an aircraft model of any kind, let alone this size, that price seems kind of ridiculous to me. So way back, I believe I got this 2 years ago now, for $20. I had to jump at it. I mean, I couldn't pass up such a good deal with it being such a cool little aircraft to have in 1 to 500 scale, as well as the C-130H model being my favorite of the C-130s and one of my top 5 favorite in the whole U.S. Air Force inventory. So I can't necessarily recommend this model for the price point, especially secondhand on eBay. But if you can find one for one price that fits more in the reasonable budget, well, I'd say I'd highly recommend this one. And now that the box is out of the way, let's dive right into the model itself. Moving the model back into frame. This aircraft is in the standard delivery of the United States Air Force, with all necessary insignia and markings being present. Going right to the tail, it does feature the American flag and the Ramstein Air Force Base. I believe they still use the same tail colors, but they may have changed since. Don't quote me on that. I'm not fairly sure about the United States Air Force's European operations per se, but I do know that this is from the Ramstein Air Force Base. I believe all of Herpa's U.S. Air Force C-130 releases are from Ramstein. Besides, they may have put out a Nevada Air National Guard one a couple years back. But anyway, RS stands for Ramstein, of course, and there you have the AF and in very small text, the tail number. or the serial number rather. And if you go to the front of the aircraft, you have various squadron insignias, as well as the cockpit. You have some details on the wing for the wing lights. And on the top, you have the U.S. Air Force roundel on the left wing, USAF in letters on the right wing. And if we go ahead and take a look on the back, it's nothing too extraordinary, out of the ordinary here. Just a good view of the underwing fuel tanks, the external fuel tanks, those are, and various other just normal components of the C-130H. On the other side, you do have the same door that was featured on the other side, as well as another U.S. Air Force roundel. And you have the same squadron and mobility command markings on the other side. And also featured is the air wing information. I believe that to be the 68th or 69th airlift wing, of course out of Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. And we'll go ahead and flip it to the front here. Scoot it back to keep it in focus. It's not really wanting to focus very cooperatively, but you get the idea. Standard, once again, C-130 windows. And I will note that when I purchased this aircraft, it was missing the two front nose tires, so I did have to take different tires from a donor model. I had another older Herpa released, I believe it was a Boeing Stratocruiser, and it actually had the same size landing gear as what was supposed to be on the C-130, so I went ahead and took the tires from that, as the model had the donor model had other damage which made it unusable in any airport or model review or anything ever I were to use it for. So a parts model it became, and it was used well to bring this C-130H back to full original state. Nothing other to note condition wise. Once again, coming secondhand from eBay, it's to be expected that there might be something wrong. Either it happened in shipping, or if the seller wasn't completely honest in the description or photos, or maybe I just didn't even pay attention. But regardless, I believe that's all the details on the small C-130. Yep, you have the Herpa logo on the bottom, U.S. Air Force, the landing gear doors, the ramp, which does not open on this model. I don't believe Herpa has any opening ramps on their military models. United States Air Force roundel. And yeah, I believe that just about covers it all. Now on to the final verdict. The final verdict. Would I recommend this model to you, the viewer? And I believe I already said my answer to that. Absolutely yes. But only if you can find it for the right price. I would absolutely not pay 80, 90, 100, anything. I would probably reasonably pay $45. Like, model aircraft prices are insane recently, I will say that. The standard Gemini Jet CRJ or regional being $43, I believe, is highway robbery, and Herpa's not getting much better. I believe other YouTubers have outspoken their unsatisfactory reports on Herpa's not only conditions of the models themselves, but as well as the prices for those models. But this being an older release and being a very special aircraft to myself, and I believe to many others, I would absolutely highly recommend purchasing this model if you can find it for the right price. If not, I'd pass up on it, honestly. Wait, maybe find another one for a better price. And Herpa actually did just release a U.S. Air Force C-130J in the Ramstein Air Force tail with D-Day anniversary and invasion stripes, actually, which I would really love to pick up, but unfortunately on most sites is going for, I want to say $55 to $60, and no thank you. When I can just as easily get a Gemini Jets equivalent for maybe 40 if I'm lucky. So yeah, price gouging for these models, especially more limited releases or older releases such as this one, are absolutely absurd. But if you were to find one for the right price, I'd say swoop it up and add it to your collection. And that will do it for today, folks. Thanks as always for watching. Any likes, comments, subscriptions, anything along those lines is greatly appreciated. And if you have any other models you may want me to review, or aircraft types or airlines, or I have an extensive collection at this point, and with these model reviews specifically, I would really like to showcase some rare models, perhaps, such as this one, that not a whole lot of people have, or either they do have and they just haven't shown off the best, really. So I have a lot of aircraft models that fall into that category. So if you have anything, any recommendations or anything of that sort, please drop a comment and let me know below. But until next time, folks, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody.